Hey, how you doing? So today I'm going to be going over effectiveness because it's a terrible mechanic in this game. Uh, and it's not as simple as the math would make you think and or believe. Uh, so let's go into a character and I can kind of go over it a little bit. So let's find a debuffer I use quite frequently. Cerise, I use her a lot. You can see that she has 114% effectiveness, and for just about the vast majority of content, this is more than you'll ever really need. Uh, Another good example of this would be, let me find her. Silverblade Armintha. She also has 100% effectiveness, and her whole mechanic is landing these debuffs. So the question is, why is there so little effectiveness? That's because the effect resistance stat in this game is just garbage. So essentially, everyone's effective resistance always starts at 15. You always have an innate 15% effect resist chance. That never changes, that never goes away. You always have 15% effective resistance. Doesn't matter how much effectiveness they have or how little effect resistance you have. You always have that flat 15. Doesn't matter, nothing gets rid of that unless it has the ability to ignore effect resistance, which there are some abilities that do have that. That ability does exist, but you have to look for that specifically. Otherwise, you have that 15% chance resist, and that's for everything. It's great. I hate it. It's so bad. It really hurts building effectiveness when they just 15% you. But let's talk effect resistance now. Let's pull up a unit that I use as a resistance character. I have 221 effect resistance on Troublemaker Crozet. And honestly, it's just about right. I could be happy having it at 250. At 221, he resists just about all of the debuffers. So those debuffers I just showed you, their top was 111. That means I have a 100% chance with Troublemaker Crozet to resist all of the debuffs that would be thrown at me from them. So that's really good. That means that Troublemaker Crozet is immune to the vast majority of effects. And you were spot on in your message to me. There's always a 1 to 100 roll with every time an effect is thrown at it. So let's say Cerise is trying to debuff Crozet, and he has 150 effect resistance, and she has 100 effectiveness. That means I have a 50% chance of it just failing and a 50% chance of it succeeding. Now let's say, once again, I have Cerise with 100 effectiveness, and I have my 0 ER RB. He has a 15% chance to resist it. That's just how it goes. Uh, if I had 200% effectiveness on Crozet, or against Crozet, he would have a 50% chance to resist it. It's a feels bad mechanic. It's really hard to gear for effect resistance for this as well, because this is me statting for it. Like, this is an ER ring, that's a flat 65%. This neck has a 23%. These boots, 19. This chest, a 43%. That's a crazy high amount of ER. Like, that's a crazy stat. And I'm barely getting these resistances. Like, it's pretty nutty. Here's a 30. Here is another 23. And I'm barely getting by on these ERs. Back up to Cerise, I can kind of just show off her gear. It's like, oh, I have a 7 here. Oh, I have a 9 here. Nothing there. Oh, I have an effectiveness ring. Oh, I have 24 here. This is honestly minimal effort. All those rolls, I would be happier having that effectiveness stat be something else for the vast majority of the time. Uh, Honestly, effectiveness is just easier to stat, and if I put as much effort into getting effectiveness as I did into getting that ER for Crozet, just I would just feel bad every 15%, which I already do because, let's be honest, most people don't build ER. So this is kind of just my little rough breakdown of effectiveness and effect resistance. It's a terrible stat. It's really annoying. It's just another RNG mechanic that is always present. On the balancing side of this, it's an RNG 15% to say that you don't get controlled this time, which can be healthy, but for people who really like things being consistent, it's bad for the game, in my opinion. But that's just how it is. Yeah, hopefully this will be helpful for you. Oh, I guess I should make a little bit of this about Wyvern. For example, Wyvern 13 has 80% ER. I use my SSB against him. I have currently more effectiveness than I should. I should be just at 65% because I can't go beneath that 15% regardless. So it'll be that 80%, subtract my effectiveness, minimum 15. So if I had a 65 and he has an 80, that means he has that 15% resistance, and that's the sweet spot. So ideally, if you're playing Wyvern, you want 65 effectiveness, and that's kind of the reason for it. Also, fun fact, just about all the opponents in the game, if you have 200 ER, you are immune to everything. Really nice. I really like it. It feels good. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully this is useful, and have a good day. Bye-bye.